First of all, we thank you guys for coming. This is for us, a first opportunity to get together with you guys, to be able to touch base. And some of you may wonder, okay, why are we doing this on November the 11th? PurpleStride is actually February 27th of 2021. And you're right, it is a long ways away, but it also is really close. And it's important to us for a lot of reasons in that this is Pancreatic Awareness Month nationally. And we've got World Pancreatic Awareness Day, which is 8 days from now, that we'll touch on. So there are a lot of reasons that it is really appropriate. Before I get into fundraising and some of the opportunities that we're bringing you together for, I really wanted to say thank you first and foremost. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for the teams that you guys have represented last year, especially. For those of you who don't know, last year was a record-setting year. We had more money raised than ever. You see the numbers. You see the number of participants and the number of teams. Before last year, we had not raised more than $220,000 in Tampa Bay. So to go from what was in the below 200 in 2019 to 288,000 in 2020 really speaks a lot to you and your passion. And that's something that we want to take advantage of, in essence, to be able to generate the enthusiasm for 2021, because we are in a very different world. And for some of you, it is new. Some of you guys have been living in a lot of virtual worlds right now, but there are challenges. So we want to kind of walk those through and make you prepared. And beyond that, obviously the timing of tonight, beyond it being National Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, it is timely. It wasn't intentional when we set this meeting up, but I think that Alex Trebek's passing makes this meeting even more timely. I think for each of you, you guys have a personal connection to pancreatic cancer. For some of you, it's because you're a survivor. For some of you, it's because of a friend or a family member. And others in your teams have become passionate about the cause because of you. But there are also people who are going to be passionate because Alex Trebek to them was, in essence, a family member in some way, shape, or form. He was part of their lives for many, many years. So there is an opportunity to connect with people who may not have had this passion for pancreatic cancer awareness, that maybe now will be having their minds, their hearts, and their eyes open to the importance of the cause. And most of you know these numbers, but they are somewhat jaw-dropping. We are now the third leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States, behind only lung cancer and colon cancer. And it's expected by 2025 will be number 2. So obviously the importance of finding a cure, of finding early detection, as many of you know, really is critical. And this year in the United States, you see the numbers. We're looking at 57,600 people diagnosed, many of them in Tampa Bay. Many of those people are the type of people that you're helping by being part of PurpleStride every year and by doing events every single year. So obviously you guys provide a tremendous help in that regard, and we are making progress. I mean, you see the arrow, it's going up. We're up to 10% in terms of survival rates for 5 years. In 2014, it was 6%. So that is a pretty substantial leap, but we also have a ways to go. And that's part of the reason that we wanted to get you guys together here in November and wanted to continue to make some growth. With that, I think a big part of the reason that we strive are for people like Fred Saki, who is a survivor and also one of our most successful captains of Team FIS. So Fred, why don't you take it away for a few minutes and kind of give your take and your connection to the cause?
Absolutely. Thank you, Neil. And again, as Neil said, I just want to thank everybody for joining tonight. As we know, this is a very important cause to me, important on a couple fronts. One is, as a survivor, all the funds that we raise to go to PanCan and help research, may help me someday, and that's my selfish take on things. But that there's other folks that haven't been diagnosed yet or are in similar situation as myself. So that's an incentive. But additionally, in 2017, lost a dear friend and coworker to pancreatic cancer, and his name was Bob Franklin, and the team FIS is really marching not just in support of me and my journey, but for Bob as well. Bob was diagnosed. I received an email from him on September 1st of 2017, and October 8th he passed. So less than 6 weeks, and it came as a shock to not only myself, but to other folks in our organization. So it was a real driver to help get Team FIS going, and so we've all been able to get together, which is, I think, a great opportunity to do that and show our support in mass here in St. Pete. And this year, we know that it's going to be a little bit different, being a virtual event, and I think Neil will talk more about that a little bit later. But the one thing is, we can't lose our passion for the cause. Whether it's an in-person event or a virtual event, we still have to maintain that same level of passion. And the cool thing about a virtual event is we're not limited by our geography. So if you have friends and family that are in other regions of the U.S., other states, even other countries, reach out to them on Facebook. There's nothing that says that they can't participate in PurpleStride Tampa Bay. So I think this is one of the benefits that being in a virtual environment that I think we've all gotten used to over the last 8 or 9 months. Right, we're all doing it every day. Many of us, anyway. Our kids are. For work. So we can see what can happen and the possibilities in a virtual world. So, let's take some of that and take the same passion that we've always come to our in-person event and bring that to our virtual event. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, get them engaged. It doesn't matter where they are. They can all participate, support you and your team. And just as a last note, I recently participated in a Miles for Moffitt virtual event, and it was great. Social media posts, all of these cool things we're able to do, and we'll see the same thing with our PurpleStride event. So I'm pretty excited about this, and I just want you guys to be excited as well.
And Fred, you're doing too some really cool things. And before I get into some of the fundraising aspects, you've really, in essence, been able to try and expand your program and your reach. And you raised more than what, $10,000 as a team last year?
Yeah, so absolutely, Neil. So it's cool. FIS is very supportive of all of their employees globally. We have an organization with over 55,000 people worldwide, and 2 years ago, I was able to get the week, generally the third week of November, which is usually contains the World Pancreatic Cancer Day, as a pancreatic cancer awareness week at our local St. Pete office. This year, I kind of pushed it up a little bit further. And when the company announced they were doing the season of giving and they were breaking it into various categories, and one of them was health and wellness, I was able to reach out and get PanCan included in that. So now, I'm taking what is, historically been a local event for FIS in the St. Petersburg office, and being able to reach out to our offices in Jacksonville, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and India, Sydney, Australia. So it's spreading the word. Whether I could get everybody to participate in some kind of event or not, I think the benefit of getting the word out to that kind of an audience, I think it's going to be it's been a great opportunity. So I'm really appreciative of the organization I work for. I can't thank them enough and the support that they've given me and our team FIS.
Well, we're appreciating the work that you're doing on it, Fred. So thank you. And I think what Fred shows is that there are different ways to grow a team in a virtual world. And I want to get to some of that as we go. So Fred touches on some really important points, and the way you can fundraise is something we're to get to in greater detail. But I think it's also important to realize that since you guys are out there and you're going to be doing this in a virtual world, it's important to know how your dollars are used and how well they're used. If you take a look at that information, the 4-star rating, that ranking is something that PanCan is on really at the top of the heap, so to speak, and that there's only 10 nonprofits nationally that have had this kind of rating for this many years at that level. So that gives you confidence that not only are you generating money for a cause that is valued by you, but it's also being used for a good cause and it's recognized by a group like Charity Navigator. So the research investment, this is kind of an overview of some of the dollars that you guys have raised and to give you an idea of how those dollars have been used. Obviously, research is a big part of it. We need to be able to find a cure. That's one of the greatest challenges in the fight is early detection and finding a cure. And a lot of funding goes toward research, but it also goes toward helping the individuals that you're trying to help. And I think that's important too, that there's more than just dollars being used for research and finding a cure, but it's the personal connections. And you can see the different areas across the board that are being touched on. PanCan hits and has more contacts with more patients across the country than any organization in the world fighting pancreatic cancer. And that's really important to understand and know as we go forward. And I think that there's that personal connection. This is a quote from an individual who was dealing with a member of Patient Central and the exchange that they had. And you can take a look at that, and hopefully it gives you a feel for the connection that the patient makes with Patient Central, and hopefully allows you to feel confident that the work that's being done on a national basis, on a local basis by PanCan creates comfort for those going through very obviously challenging times and challenging fights. So, all right, now where do we go? We mentioned that it is going to be different this year. So I want to play this short clip.
Can you tell everyone who you're striding in memory of?
My brother Larry.
Patients and survivors.
Love our backpack. This is for you.
We can't do it in person, but we can all unite together against pancreatic cancer.
Amy's Army, and we'll beat this together.
And it's time to stride.
The importance of the message, though, was that we want to kind of focus on how we stride virtually, how we fundraise virtually, how we do it in a very unique environment. And I think the most important thing to do is that you make it something that people can connect to. For me, you see the photos. We're striding for Alan Berger. That's my father-in-law. And my wife, Sari, who's on this call, and my kids, Emily and Abby, have been very passionate about the cause. And these are photos that you can use in creating your own fundraising page, whether that's at PurpleStride.org/Tampa Bay when you register, if you haven't already, whether it's on your Facebook fundraising page, which we'll get to as well. But it is important to create that personal connection. And as you take a look at some of the Purple Strides that we've had virtually, which we've done really since March across the country, it's these types of photos that help connect people to the cause, people wearing purple, people being in different places. And I think the unique thing, and Fred touched on it, is that we're able to all come together and be able to do this virtually, maybe not the same way we did when we were in St. Pete, but in some ways better, because if you have family in Texas and New Jersey and New York and California, they can all come together rather than having to fly in. They can all get their family and friends to join you virtually, whether it's in Zoom, whether it's on FaceTime, whatever method you decide to use to share with them, but they can all help you fundraise for the same cause. And the best way to do that is to go to PurpleStride.org/resources. And on that webpage, you have, as you see here, a full page of opportunities as to how to go about fundraising. And if you go through the page, and again, it's PurpleStride.org/resources, you'll be able to kind of walk through very easy steps about how to set a fundraising goal, about how to set up your emails, about creating an honor bib that you want to wear, about using social media. And for some, it can be a little bit intimidating at first, but I can also tell you that it can be extremely successful. And I'm going to give you some other success stories, and I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to fundraise in a moment. In fact, why don't I play that video now, and we'll see if that'll give you guys a good feel for this.
Hello, my name is Lawrence, and today I'll be showing you how easy it is to create a Facebook fundraiser through MyStride Essential. Facebook Fundraiser is a tool that allows you to share your story with more people and collect donations through Facebook. Participants that connect their PurpleStride fundraising page to Facebook on average raise 5 times more than those who don't. And even during the pandemic, we are finding that Facebook fundraising has not slowed down. Setting up the fundraiser is quick and easy. So let's get started. First, you need to be registered for PurpleStride at PurpleStride.org. Once you are registered and you are at the PurpleStride.org landing page, click Login located in the upper right-hand corner of the web page. Once you click that button, the username and password field should populate below. Complete the login process by entering in your username as well as your password, both credentials correctly. After you have entered in both fields, you'll click Submit and wait for the page to respond. You'll know that you have been logged in because the login button will change to log out. At this point, we'll scroll down and click the event with which you would like to connect your Facebook fundraiser to. Once you have clicked the event, we'll wait for the page to load. It will take us to MyStride Essential. Once in MyStride Essential, you'll be taken to the dashboard. You will know that you're at the dashboard if you look at the tabs below the welcome message. The dashboard tab will be highlighted in purple. If you are not here at the dashboard, simply click the dashboard tab. Once here, we'll begin to scroll down the page and we'll look over to the right. You'll scroll down until you see the purple box that has the message, "Fundraising is even easier with Facebook Fundraiser." Once here, you'll then click the white button that says Connect to Facebook. Go ahead and click that. We'll then allow the website to do its magic. And voila, your Facebook fundraiser is now set up. Congratulations. Here, notice a few things. You will see a link that allows you to copy the Facebook fundraiser and paste that wherever you would like, in email, in website, on Facebook. This link points directly to your Facebook fundraiser, making it easy for others to donate. Now click the white Go to Facebook Fundraiser button. It will take you to the Facebook fundraiser you just set up. Here, give attention to the blue bar that says Invite. Below, you'll see the buttons Donate, Share, and More. Click More. You'll see other options that say Unfollow Fundraiser, Edit Fundraiser, and End Fundraiser. Click Edit Fundraiser. Here you can personalize your Facebook fundraiser by uploading a picture of your loved one or add information about your fundraiser. Facebook Fundraiser allows you to invite your friends on Facebook to donate and post on the page as you would a normal Facebook page. Donations show up in real time, and your fundraising total as well as personal story are reflected in both the Facebook Fundraiser and participant page of MyStride Essential. If you have any questions, please contact our customer service team at events@pancan.org or call 877-2-PANCAN. Thank you so much for your dedication and support.
The idea of fundraising has been very, very seamless. I had never done really Facebook fundraising before this week. And I will tell you that we started the fundraiser 2 days ago. And you can see the numbers. It's gone way better than anything I anticipated. And for those of you who use Facebook at all, you invite people to a fundraiser, you write a message, you create something personal, you comment on people and thank them for donating, and you set goals. And you know, there are the pages at purplestride.org/fundraiser slash resources rather walks you through how to set up your fundraiser. Initially, I invited 155 people to the fundraiser total, figuring, okay, let's just see how it goes. 3 people shared it. That brought 95 additional people into the fundraiser. I've had people donate. Of the 22 people, at least 5 of them, I had no idea who they were. But because someone else brought it into the group and knew they had a connection to pancreatic cancer through Facebook, they went out and they donated, which to me is kind of amazing in terms of how the whole process can work and how quickly it can work. And for me, I kind of think, hey, we just got started. You know, there's no reason that there are other methods that are offered that we can use. And in that page, on that web page, it gives you a way to set up your emails, to simply insert names, insert motivations, and then you have the chance to just personalize it. If you want to edit it the way you want to do it so that you're connecting with someone, you can. If you're sending a specific personal message to a family member or a friend, you have the chance to do it. But I think they also take some of the thinking out of it, or the concern about asking in a challenging time, because we are in a difficult time economically. And in the case of the Facebook fundraiser, I hardly reached out to that many people and they reacted. You know, I was worried, how are people going to respond? And they responded better than I think you would ever imagine. And I'm going to get to some Facebook numbers, but they offer ways, if you have social media, if you use Twitter or Instagram or different, or maybe you have people on your team that use various social media methods. Maybe you don't, but your children do, or your friends do. They can use all of these ways to connect with other people. If you want to put together an honor bib, they have that on that website at purplestride.org/resources. You can use that, as you saw probably some of the folks in the video, showing who they strive for to connect. You can create frames for Facebook that you can use on your page. And that's another way when people see you, see your new profile pic, can connect with you. Here's a look at what the honor bib looks like that you can share. Here are some of the frames for Facebook that you can share. And then the other thing is there are unique ways to fundraise. You don't have to do it only through the walk. You'll see some unique ways, whether it's a sit-up or push-up challenge, whether if you've got folks of a younger generation who want to do something with TikTok, you can do a virtual bingo night or happy hour or game night. And everybody who participates donates $5 to the cause. You get 10 people doing it by Zoom, and all of a sudden you've created another $50 in a very simple, friendly, you know, almost non-invasive way. I think sometimes during this time we're worried about the ask. And if it's just a fun activity and people are all giving $5 or $10 to a cause, it probably makes it a lot easier to ask and get 5 or 10 people together, you know, in your place of worship. And the neat thing is, once you do get to a certain point, we do have, thanks honey, the sweatshirts, the Grand Club sweatshirts that people get for raising $1,000. And as I mentioned at the top, you can have a lot of success with Facebook. In 2 days, Sarah and I have raised over $2,000 on Facebook. Now, that I don't know if that's unique for the time period, but take a look at the numbers here. And those who do Facebook fundraisers with PurpleStride and those who don't, and the number of donations in Facebook versus non-Facebook. And if you do have Facebook and you want to use it, I'm here to tell you that it's extremely helpful. And the connections that have occurred are way more than I ever anticipated. And here are a couple of success stories. These are both individuals who raised well over $1,000 on Facebook. And in both cases, these are both in Florida too. Addie's worked with both these individuals. and you can kind of see some of their story. Neither of them were really comfortable doing Facebook fundraisers like me, and hadn't done it before. And both had extreme success, and they both made a really good, strong personal message and connection. And those are the kinds of things that I think you can do and really do it in a very, very simple way. So go to purplestride.org/resources, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, here in November. And the other thing, I think it's timely because we're closing in on World Pancreatic Cancer Day. And that kind of allows you to create an avenue on Facebook or in your other messaging to let people know about that event, but also connect you to your event, right, Addie?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things this year and just remind everyone that on the 19th, just to mark your calendars and to wear purple and to share pictures with your friends and family, to share on your social sites, to just remind everybody that that is the day that is World Pancreatic Cancer Day, and to really drive people to pancan.org. That's kind of our big message, is just so that everyone can have a lot more awareness and they can see all of the tools and resources for everyone involved. And just some examples here. There was this wonderful picture that I had from some of our Central Florida groups that they're posting and reposting. They will do that on the day as well. And you can see one of our Facebook messages that we'll have in our Tampa group if Christine hasn't already, and she'll be posting it again. It's just donate now to pancan.org. It's driving everyone to pancan.org. And then there's also a special webinar that's going to be coming up. I wanted to make sure everyone knew about, and it is Treatment Advances, the latest in pancreatic cancer clinical research. We thought that was a really great webinar to provide to everybody on the 19th. And so not everyone's familiar with our free webinars. So I wanted to make sure you see how to get there and how to register and get all of the credentials to get in there. So if you just go to pancan.org, and then you click on Facing Pancreatic Cancer, and then you click on Educational Webinars, you'll see exactly this little screenshot up here, and you'll be able to register for that. So really the two asks that we have is to just wear purple, share your story, mention pancan.org or the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. And then if you have time to join this wonderful event, I think everyone would get a lot out of it. So thanks, Neil.
Yeah. And again, we hope that you are going to have the same passion that you guys see in some of these photos and how they're striding virtually and connecting. And that's what you guys have a unique chance to do. Again, I think the best part about the challenge that we're facing in a virtual world is that now your team isn't only Team Tampa Bay, it could be Team Tampa Bay plus USA. And that's, I think, how you can think about this, whether they're donating, whether they're doing an event with you, whether they're there with you on February 27th, regardless of how they're there, they can be part of your team.